Redefining Resilience, the transformative power of embracing life's unexpected turns. Welcome to a journey of transformation, resilience, and hope. Today, we're diving deep into a story that challenges our perceptions, ignites our spirits, and reminds us of the extraordinary strength that lies within each of us. This isn't just a tale of overcoming adversity. It's a powerful testament to the human spirit's capacity to not just endure, but to flourish in the face of life's most daunting challenges. I have the incredible privilege of sharing with you the profound insights gained from an extraordinary individual, Xonya Marvel. Xonya's journey is nothing short of remarkable, a beacon of inspiration that illuminates the path for all of us navigating the unpredictable waters of life. Her story doesn't just inspire, it revolutionizes our understanding of resilience, adaptability, and the untapped potential within the human spirit. Imagine, for a moment, the life you've carefully constructed, the career you've built, the relationships you've nurtured, the future you've meticulously planned. Now picture all of that being called into question in an instant. This is where Xonya's story begins and where our exploration of the human capacity for growth and transformation takes flight. At 54, an age when many feel they've hit their stride, Xonya Marvel received a diagnosis that would rewrite her life script: multiple sclerosis. MS, those two letters that carry the weight of uncertainty, fear, and for many, a sense of loss. But for Xonya, they became the catalyst for an extraordinary journey of self-discovery and reinvention. Multiple sclerosis, a condition that affects the central nervous system, is often associated with younger adults. It's unpredictable, potentially disabling, and can touch every aspect of a person's existence. For Xonya, this diagnosis arrived at a time when she thought she had life figured out. It was a moment that could have shattered her world, but instead it became the foundation for an incredible odyssey of resilience and transformation. As Xonya shared her story, the raw honesty in her voice was palpable. There was no attempt to sugarcoat the reality of facing a life-altering diagnosis. Instead, there was a powerful vulnerability, a willingness to lay bare the fears, the doubts, and the moments of despair that came with her new reality. When the doctor told me I had MS, Xonya revealed, her voice tinged with the memory of that moment. It felt like the ground had disappeared beneath my feet. Everything I thought I knew about myself, about my future, suddenly seemed uncertain. It was terrifying. Take a moment to sit with that feeling. Can you imagine the weight of those words? The sudden shift from a world of certainty to one where every step forward feels like stepping into the unknown. This is the reality that Xonya faced, and it's a reality that many of us might encounter in different forms throughout our lives. But here's where Xonya's story takes a turn that can teach us all something profound about the human spirit. Instead of allowing this diagnosis to define her, to limit her, Xonya chose to redefine herself in light of it. She embarked on a journey of understanding, not just of MS, but of herself. I realized, Xonya shared, her voice filled with a quiet strength that resonated deeply, that MS might change how my body works, but it doesn't have to change who I am at my core. In fact, it's given me an opportunity to discover strengths I never knew I had. This realization is at the heart of what I want to share with you today. It's about the power we all possess to choose how we respond to life's challenges. It's about the courage it takes to look at a situation that seems insurmountable and declare, this will not break me, this will make me. Xonya's journey with MS has been marked by ups and downs, by good days and bad days. There have been moments of frustration, of anger, of feeling betrayed by her own body. But through it all, she's maintained a perspective that is both inspiring and instructive. On my worst days, Xonya confided, when the fatigue is overwhelming or when I'm struggling with basic tasks, I remind myself that this is just one day. It doesn't define my entire journey. And on my good days, I celebrate. I push myself to do things I love, to connect with people, to live fully in that moment. This approach to living with MS, this delicate balance of acceptance and determination, is something we can all learn from, regardless of our personal circumstances. It's about acknowledging our challenges without being defined by them. It's about finding the courage to be vulnerable, to ask for help when we need it, and to offer help when we can. As I listened to Xonya speak about her experiences, I was struck by how her diagnosis had not only changed her life, but had rippled out to affect her relationships, her work, and her community. She spoke of the initial awkwardness, the way some friends and colleagues didn't know how to react to her diagnosis. There were people who pulled away, she admitted, her voice tinged with the hint of sadness, and that hurt. But there were also people who stepped up in ways I never expected. I learned who my true support system was, and I learned how to be vulnerable enough to lean on that support. This is a crucial lesson for all of us. In our moments of greatest need, of greatest vulnerability, we often discover the true depth of our connections. But to access that support, we have to be willing to be open about our struggles, to ask for help, to allow others to see us at our most human. Xonya's experience also highlights something important about the nature of illness and disability in our society. There's often an invisibility to conditions like MS, especially in its early stages or on good days. This can lead to misunderstandings, to people questioning the reality of someone's struggles. I've had days where I look fine on the outside, Xonya explained, her voice filled with a mix of frustration and determination. But I'm battling extreme fatigue or pain on the inside. Learning to advocate for myself, to explain my needs, even when they're not visibly apparent, has been a crucial part of my journey. This touches on a broader issue in our society, the need for greater understanding and empathy when it comes to invisible illnesses and disabilities. Xonya's story challenges us to look beyond surface appearances to create spaces where people feel safe expressing their needs and limitations without fear of judgment. But Xonya's journey isn't just about coping with MS, it's about thriving despite it. She spoke passionately about the ways in which her diagnosis has pushed her to prioritize what truly matters in her life. Before MS, I was always rushing, always pushing for the next big achievement, she reflected, her voice filled with a newfound wisdom. Now, I've learned to slow down, to appreciate the small moments. I've discovered a depth to life that I might have missed if I'd continued on that fast paced track. This shift in perspective is something we can all benefit from, regardless of our health status. In a world that often values constant productivity and achievement above all else, Xonya's story reminds us of the importance of balance, of self-care, of finding joy in the everyday moments. As our conversation continued, Xonya shared how her experience with MS has made her a more empathetic, understanding person. She spoke of the connections she's made with others in the MS community, of the strength she's found in shared experiences. There's a unique bond that forms when you connect with someone who truly understands your struggles, she said, her voice warm with the memory of these connections. It's taught me the power of community, of shared vulnerability. We're all stronger when we come together, when we share our stories and our support. This idea of community, of finding strength in shared experiences, is something we can all apply to our lives. Whether we're dealing with health issues, professional challenges, or personal struggles, there's immense power in reaching out, in forming connections with others who understand our journey. Xonya's story also highlights the importance of adaptability in the face of change. She spoke about how she's had to rethink her approach to work, to relationships, even to simple daily tasks. MS has forced me to be creative, she explained, her voice filled with like a mix of pride and determination. I've had to find new ways to do things I once took for granted. It's taught me that there's almost always another way if you're willing to look for it. This ability to adapt, to find new solutions when old ones no longer work, is a skill that serves us well in all areas of life. Xonya's experience reminds us that our greatest strengths often emerge when we're pushed out of our comfort zones, when we're forced to think differently about our challenges. As we neared the end of our conversation, I asked Xonya what message she would want to share with others, whether they're dealing with MS or facing any other life altering challenge. Her response was powerful in its simplicity. Embrace your journey, all of it, the good days, the bad days, the victories, and the setbacks. They're all part of your story, and they all have something to teach you. Don't let fear of the unknown stop you from living fully in the present. These words resonated deeply with me, and I hope they resonate with you too. They speak to a universal truth about the human experience, that our greatest growth often comes from our greatest challenges, that our ability to find meaning and purpose is not diminished by adversity, but can be enhanced by it. Xonya's story, her journey with MS, is not just about living with the chronic illness. It's about resilience, about the power of vulnerability, about the strength we can find when we face our fears head on. It's about redefining our narratives, about finding new ways to measure success and fulfillment in our lives. As I reflect on my conversation with Xonya, I'm struck by the transformative power of sharing our stories. By opening up about her experiences, Xonya has not only found healing for herself, but has created a space for others to feel seen, understood, and inspired. This is the power of vulnerability, the power of authentic connection. When we share our truths, when we allow ourselves to be seen in our full humanity, struggles, triumphs, and all, we create ripples of understanding and empathy that can change lives. So I want to challenge each of you listening today. What's your story? What challenges have you faced that you've been afraid to share? What strengths have you discovered in yourself that you never knew you had? I encourage you to find the courage to share your story, to be vulnerable, to connect with others on a deeper level, because it's through these connections, through this shared vulnerability, that we find our greatest strength. Remember, your story matters. Your experiences, your struggles, your triumphs, they all have the power to inspire, to educate, to create change. Don't underestimate the impact your voice can have. As we come to the close of this talk, I want to leave you with one final thought. Life will always have its challenges, its unexpected turns, but it's not these challenges that define us. It's how we choose to face them, how we choose to grow from them, and how we choose to share our journey with others. Xonya Marvel's story is a powerful reminder of the resilience of the human spirit, of our capacity to find strength in vulnerability, and of the transformative power of sharing our truths. Let her courage inspire you to face your own challenges with grace, to embrace your own journey with all its ups and downs, and to reach out and connect with others in authentic, meaningful ways. But let's not stop at inspiration. Let's turn this inspiration into action. I challenge each of you to take a step today towards embracing your own journey, whatever it may be. Maybe it's reaching out to someone you know is struggling. Maybe it's being honest with yourself about a challenge you're facing, or maybe it's simply taking a moment to appreciate the strength you've shown in your own life's journey. Remember, every time you choose resilience over resignation, every time you choose to share your story instead of hiding it, you're not just changing your own life. You're changing the world around you. You're creating a ripple effect of empathy, understanding, and strength that can touch countless lives. So let's go forward from here with a new perspective. Let's see our challenges not as obstacles, but as opportunities for growth. Let's view our vulnerabilities not as weaknesses, but as gateways to deeper connections. And let's recognize that our individual journeys, with all their twists and turns, are part of a larger human story of resilience, adaptation, and triumph. Together, we can create a world where vulnerability is seen as strength, where challenges are met with creativity and courage, and where every individual feels empowered to embrace their unique journey. This is the world Xonya Marvel's story invites us to create. This is the world we can build, one story, one connection, one act of courage at a time. Thank you for joining me on this journey of discovery and transformation. Now let's go out there and redefine what it means to be resilient, to be human, to be alive. The world is waiting for your story, for your strength, for your light. It's time to shine.